Welcome back to Pancake FC, the YouTube channel named after the fantasy team named after my dog. Today we are putting together our Week 17 MLS Fantasy tier list. I am, as always, joined by Pancake. There she is at the bottom right of your screen. She actually has an excuse today for being tired. We're traveling right now, so she's kind of wore out. But anyways, it is tier list time. If you do find yourself enjoying the video, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. For every person who does so, Pancake does get an extra treat. I do apologize if the audio sounds kind of echoey. It's just kind of the room I'm in right now. Or if I'm not quite as prepared as I usually am. Just kind of, like I said, been on the road, traveling a little bit. So haven't quite had the same amount of time, but I think I've got it together pretty good. Let's go over a couple of key points real quick before we get started. Portland are our team on a bye this week, and international absences will continue this week as they will for a while, especially for players who are gone to Copa America and the Euros. So let's look at the schedule. We have another Friday game. I don't know why New York City FC have a bunch of Friday games. I think they even have a couple more. If anyone knows why that is, let me know. But New York City do play the Columbus Crew on Friday, and then Saturday we've got a nice spread of game times. Games aren't super lumped up like they have been kind of recently. We have Atlanta versus Houston, Montreal, Salt Lake, Charlotte, DC, New England are hosting the Whitecaps, the Red Bulls are hosting Nashville, Orlando, LAFC, Philadelphia versus Inter Miami without Messi, Toronto versus Chicago, FC Dallas are hosting St. Louis. FC Dallas just fired Nico Estevez, so we'll see if they get some kind of new manager bounce. Colorado Rapids are hosting Austin FC, LA Galaxy are hosting Sporting Kansas City, San Jose are hosting FC Cincinnati, and the Seattle Sounders are hosting Minnesota United. Let's get into the tier list. Our tiers today are great, good, fun punt, probably not, and fade. We'll start with goalkeepers, go on to defenders, and work our way up from there. So, goalkeepers, we'll start with Christian Kalina. Charlotte have one of the best defenses in the league. They've been really solid, except for that they've only had I feel like one major defensive slip up all year, and it was when they got blown out by Minnesota. And I think wasn't that the week that I tripled Charlotte defense. So Charlotte are hosting DC. I am a little bit worried about Christian Benteke, but the other thing about Christian Benteke is, this is not a game where you would necessarily expect him to score. It's an away game against one of the strongest defenses in the league. So does that mean that he's going to score? Because that's kind of how it works with him. So it's kind of a weird conundrum. But, on paper, in general, Charlotte are a really solid option this week. And so I think Christian Molina is probably a good pick for the week, especially since it's an early game time too. You can kind of just stick him on your bench as a part of a keeperoo. I've got Sean Johnson as well. Toronto are hosting Chicago. I'm not quite... For a minute there, I was targeting Chicago pretty heavily. I'm laying off a little bit more right now. They've gotten a little bit better recently, but, Toronto are really solid at home, defensively and going forward, so I do like this matchup for them quite a bit. I really like Sean John this week, actually. I think he might be a great pick. As far as these 630 keepers go, I think he's probably the best option. I've got Zach Steffen next as well. Colorado at 8:30 are hosting Austin FC. Austin are probably not maybe, they're surely the worst road team in the league, right? I mean, their XG on the road is crazy low. They barely score. They've also been for a second there, they were actually looking, or at least pulling off some decent results, but it kind of seems like they're back to being a little bit more what we expected them to be this season, and that's, pretty not good team. So I like Zach Steffen a lot. In fact, I think he might be a great option. If Sean Johnson's going to be a great option this week, then I think Zach Steffen has to be too. If you want to keep a rhythm, you can, although the game times will slightly overlap, but that's just, whether you're going to risk it or not is up to y'all. I've got John McCarthy as well. That's for a 9:30 game time. These three games, to me, there isn't really a standout defense or keeper. LA Galaxy, their defense is so unreliable, and by unreliable, I mean just not very good. Sporting Kansas City, though, I know they got a couple goals against Seattle, but that was really just, both of them were on Stephen Fry. I'm not sure if Stephen Fry is going to start this game. If I were in charge, I would be starting Andrew Thomas. But Kansas City do always kind of manage a goal, don't they? So I would call John McCarthy. He's either a fun punt or a probably not. I'm not exactly sure where I want to stick him. Probably not. But he is an option. I mean, as far as the 9:30 games go, I feel like he's probably the best you're gonna do. I'm avoiding away defenses right now. So like even like Minnesota are pretty dangerous. They're still gonna be missing a lot of players, but they just they press and they go so hard that I think they probably get a goal against Seattle. The vibes in Seattle are pretty bad right now too, and San Jose aren't going to shut Cincinnati out, so he's probably the best option in my opinion from those games. If not, if Andrew Thomas starts for Seattle, I wish I would have stuck Andrew Thomas on the tier list. If I would have remembered to put Andrew Thomas on here, I probably would have put him in fun punt as well. I think Andrew Thomas is probably a decent option as well. Although I do kind of think Minnesota get a goal. Anyways, let's move on to defenders. I'm back on the Brooks Lennon train. I am back. I was the conductor of the Brooks Lennon train for quite a while, and then I jumped off the train. Well, now I am hopping back on Atlanta, hopefully getting some kind of new manager bounce. They're going to have their interim coach if they don't hire somebody before this game. I don't think they are going to hire somebody before this game. So, Brooks Lennon, big fan of. He's getting forward a lot, attacking a lot. His bonus points and just general output has improved a little bit recently. So, I'm back. I think he's actually a great option. Houston on the road in general, but also on the road, aren't a great attacking team. I am a big believer in new manager bounce too. I think Atlanta could get a little bit of a boost this game. I really like Brooks Lennon this week. I am fully bought back in to the Brooks Lennon hype, and he's on some set pieces too, some corners, and I think he's a great option this week. I really do. Another good option for getting into that Toronto defense, I do have Kevin Long. I'm gonna stick him as probably a good option. His output offensively is kind of non-existent. His bonus points are all right. If you want a clean sheet hunt with that Toronto game, where is it? There it is. If you want a clean sheet hunt there, then I think he is probably a good pick. Maxo, likewise, for Colorado. If you want a clean sheet hunt with them, there you go. Kai Wagner, probably a great option this week. Like I mentioned, Inter Miami are not going to have Lionel Messi. I feel like they're missing somebody else too, right? I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head. But I think they have a couple absences as well, and really, I think Inter Miami are going to be fine. Like I said in my video the other day, if you haven't watched that video, by the way, it's called "Messi Isn't the Best Player in MLS," which is a little bit of a clickbaity title, but it's really a video about Ricky Pooch. But it's a little bit more of a post-produced video. If you haven't watched it, please check it out. I'm pretty proud of how it turned out, and I'm going to keep trying to make a video like that every week or so. So I like Kai Wagner as an option a lot this week, and really you don't take Kai Wagner for the clean sheet chance anyway. You take him for the offensive output, for the bonus points. Bonus points right now in attacking output, he's really unmatched in this game right now. Although Brooks Lennon hopefully is catching back up. I've got Addison Malanda. If you want a clean sheet hunt with Charlotte, probably actually a fun punt. Not quite. Well, if I'm going to call Christian Galena good, then I probably have to call Addison Malanda good too, right? Yeah, that's how we're going to do it. So, if you want a clean sheet hunt there, if you don't think DC get a goal, then I think he is a good option in that sense. We've got Urinen as well from Charlotte. In fact, actually, I think I want to stick... Maybe he's a... Yeah, we'll leave him. We'll leave him as both good options. Can you tell I haven't thought about this ahead of time? Malanda and Yernan's on some set pieces. That's why I kind of like him. If you want a little bit of a shot, his bonus points are like non-existent. But if you want a little bit of a shot at maybe sneaking in an assist or something like that, then you can take a punt on him. Jordi Alba, probably just a good option this week. As far as away defenders go, he is my favorite right now. I'm not sure what he's going to do this game against Philadelphia. I don't know how much he's going to get forward. I feel like a lot of Jordi Alba's offensive output this year has come like purely from his chemistry with Messi. Now that Messi's gone, is Alba going to shoulder a little bit more responsibility, or is he going to cool off? I don't know. I really don't know, but I think he's a good, like as a bench play, I think he's a great bench play. A great bench play. Super high upside. you know, like if it goes wrong, whatever. That's how I feel about Jordi Alba this week. Let's get on to the midfielders. I've got Thiago Almada. I think he is a great option this week. His floor is really good. Houston aren't a great road team, and I think Atlanta get a little bit of a boost. Cole Bassett may be a great option this week. Either good or great. I think I'm going to stick him in great. I'm not 100% off the top of my head familiar with how his bonus points have been recently. I think they've been decent. His attacking output, goal output has just been good in general recently. And I really don't rate Austin for this game. I think Colorado should come out with a comfortable victory. I really like Cole Bassett for this game. And I like Djordje Mihailovic the same way. I think he's a great option too. If you want to even double up on these guys, I think it's kind of a worthy punt. I'm pretty high on Colorado for this game. So I really like Djordje Mihailovic and Cole Bassett for this game. Djordje's on some set pieces, right? Cole Bassett, I don't think is. Maybe I'll bump Cole Bassett down to good and keep Mihailovic in great. Because I'm pretty sure Mihailovic is on more set pieces than Cole Bassett. So I'll do it like that. But either way, I'm pretty high on both of those guys. Daniel Gazdag, probably a good option this week. You know, at home against Miami. Miami's defense is pretty poor. And I think this game, I think Miami, I literally might have just said this, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. I'm going to say it again. I think Miami are going to be fine without Messi, but I think this first game, they're going to struggle. Maybe the second. It's going to take them a minute to adjust. I think I started to say that and got distracted. Anyways, Acosta, great option. I don't, he's matchup proof. I don't care who they're playing or when or why. You take Acosta. And obviously, versus San Jose, he's a great option. Santi Rodriguez hosting Columbus. I'm going to stick him in probably not. And I bet there are some people who take him this week. And I'll tell you, I'm not feeling it. I think any team against Columbus, I would just expect the players to get slightly less bonus points. At least passing bonus points. Because their team's not going to have as much of the ball. They're just not. So I feel like there's a little bit of a Columbus nerf because they just keep so much possession. Picking against Columbus is, I think, a little bit nervy whether you think they're going to score or win or not. I think there's just a risk of getting less bonus points. So I'll tell you, I'm not, and plus Columbus are good anyway. But I'll tell you, I'm not really feeling Santi this week. It is a Yankee, though. I do like that because the ball will be going back and forth quite a bit. But in general, I'll tell you, I'm not really feeling him. Ryan Gauld this week, they are going to New England. I would say he's a good option. Forgot what I was going to say there. I think he's a good option. I don't really know what else to say about it. I think he's a good option. Ricky Puig, obviously great option, matchup proof, best player in the game. Christian Arango, also matchup proof, one of the best players in the game / the league. Salt Lake what are they doing? They're going to Montreal. Montreal aren't, actually, I don't know. I mean, they've been pretty poor recently. They aren't like awful at home. But Salt Lake are pretty dangerous team. One of the best in the league right now. Chicho Arango is just about the best player in the league right now. He's right up there. There's not a lot else to say about it. He has an amazing floor too for Ford. Maybe best floor of any striker in the game right now. Christian Benteke, I think, is a very fun punt. As a bench play, I think it's like, like I said, this is a game where you don't expect him to score. Does that mean he's going to score? As a bench play, I think he's a great bench play just because, you never know. But, you never know. I absolutely do not start Benteke under any circumstance. But as a bench play, I mean, it's just, hit or miss. If he hits, it's going to hit big. If he misses, it's whatever, as long as you keep him on the bench. I like Insigne this week. I really do. Against Chicago. Bernardeschi is going to be out for this game because he got a red card again. Ever since he got those cornrows, he's been off the cuff, man. He's been all over the map. I like Insigne. His bonus points are really good. He should be on a lot of set pieces. He'll be on pens. Chicago aren't very good. I think he's a very, very good option this week. Rafael Navajo, I'm going to stick him actually controversially in probably not for Colorado. He missed a penalty last game for them. So is he off of pens? He's not a forward who generates any bonus points. He's entirely goal dependent, and now that he's lost I don't know if he's lost his penalty privileges or not. I'm guessing maybe. I'm not so sure. I'm not sure. If he's still on pens, then I would say he's probably a fun excuse me, probably a fun punt. I still don't like in general goal dependent forwards who don't put up any bonus points. But if he's off pens, I don't know if it's really worth the risk. So I would just say probably not. If you want to go heavy on Colorado, I would just look elsewhere. Cucho Hernandez, I think, is a very good option this week. He's barely played recently in Major League Soccer, and he's been actually pretty unreliable. So I think there's a very good chance that Cucho has a great game this week. But until he strings a few great games together, I'm not going to elevate him back to great status, which is really probably where he deserves to be. But I think I'm just, I'm going to wait for it to start to happen before I really say anything about it. Denny Buwanga, let's take out our Denny Buwanga filter. Is he home or away? He is away. Don't take him. I'm saying it straight up. I don't care that it's Orlando. I know he had a good away game against, it was like Atlanta, right? Where he scored a couple goals. I don't care. I don't think he's worth it. I don't think he's worth it. I mean, fade is probably harsh. But if I don't put him in fade, nobody's going to be in fade. It's a useless steer. I'm going to say fade. In fact, actually, maybe Navajo should be in fade too. I just want to use all the tiers. If not, what's the point of making him? I don't know. Maybe I'll keep him in probably not. Really, Buwanga should be in probably not too. Can I just delete this tier? Okay, let's pretend that didn't happen. But Buwanga's a probably not. I would probably not take him since it's an away game. I know Orlando are not very good. They have a not great defense. Pancake's getting up. Where you going, Pancake? Get back in your bed. Get in your bed, Pancake. Get in your bed. You're off camera. You're going off camera. Get in your bed, baby. Good job. Very good. Good job. Thank you. She's getting restless. It's pretty early in the morning. She probably wants to go outside soon. We'll go outside soon. She likes the word outside. Anyway, what was I talking about? Buwanga. Probably not. If you want to like take a swing on him as a bench play, I guess why not? But I would just say, he's away, so don't take him. That's kind of the rule of thumb. Carlos Hill probably a pretty good option this week. They are at home, and he's been putting up some decent bonus points recently. Vancouver play a low block, so he should get some passing bonus points. I don't mind him at all this week. I don't mind him at all. Edouard Leuven, maybe a fun punt, but actually, I think for sure a fun punt. I was going to say probably not, but St. Louis are one of the hardest pressing teams in the league, and as we learned against Minnesota, FC Dallas cannot really play out of a press. They try, and I don't know if this is going to change now that Nico Estevez is gone. I wouldn't really think anything too crazy tactically is going to change for Dallas this week under an interim coach. I could be wrong, but if Dallas try to play out the back this game, then I really like St. Louis for this game. Because Dallas really struggled to play out of a hard press. And St. Louis press higher than any other team in Major League Soccer. So, from that sense, I actually quite like Leuven for this game. He should put up some decent bonus points. I think he's a fun punt. If you want to take a swing on him, I think he's a fun option. And lastly, I actually think Jesus Ferreira is a fun punt as well, as a bench play. Both these guys are I think, as bench plays. I believe in the new manager bounce to a certain extent. I know I kind of just said the opposite about this game, but matchup-wise, this game favors St. Louis, but new manager bounce-wise, this does favor FC Dallas. Jesus Ferreira, if you watched my videos last week, you know that I captained him against Minnesota. That play did not work. He played in weird spots, too. He was playing like right wing back for a lot of that game, just rotating a bunch, couldn't really get on the ball. He still actually had a couple chances. But if he plays a more normal role against St. Louis, then I think he's a fun bench play. He's still on pens, free kicks, corners. If Leggett isn't playing, I think he's on all corners too, right? I could be wrong, but he hit a couple outswingers in the other game. I'm not 100% sure on that. Maybe he isn't on all corners. I think he's not on one side. And they did play a lot of short corners too, which isn't really helpful. But he is still on free kicks and pens as well. So I think I think he's a fun. I need. No, he's probably not. He's probably not. I need to stop trying to talk myself into Jesus Ferreira. I don't know why he's a player that I want to believe in, but he's a probably not. But I think there are reasons to do it. But yeah, probably not. And that is pretty much gonna sum it up. Let's go back through the tiers real quick. In great, I've got Sean John, Zach Steffen, Brooks Lennon, Kai Wagner, Mihailovic, Thiago Almada, Ricky Puig, Luciano Acosta, and Chicho Arango. In the good tier, I've got Christian Kalina, Kevin Long, Andreas Maxo, Adelson Milanda, Jordi Alba, Urinen, Bassett, Gazdag, Lorenzo Insigne, Ryan Gauld, Cucho, Carlos Hill. In the fun punt category, I've got John McCarthy, Christian Benteke, and Edouard Leuven. In the probably not tier, I've got Santi Rodriguez, Rafael Navarro, Denny Buanga, and Jesus Ferreira. So that is pretty much going to do it for Pancake and I today. I mean, not as much. We might film another video in a second, but that's going to do it upload-wise for today. As always, best of luck to all of y'all when you're picking your teams. If you want in the comments to let me know how your teams, how many points you're putting up, and how much you're getting to, just because I'm curious. If you did enjoy the video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. For every person who does so, Pancake does get an extra treat. If I upload another kind of post-produced video this week, watch out for the treat cam, because I'll probably stick it on to the end as well. But anyways, thank y'all so much for watching. Best of luck with your teams. Don't forget, when you're picking your teams, when you're selecting your players, always go with your gut. And I will talk to y'all again very soon.